So here's our second video out of 4.4. You'll see a function on the screen. The directions on this say to use whatever method to factor it. So I kind of gave you some step-by-steps in the notes. Really, the first part is just to kind of get us accustomed to what the graph is doing. So the first thing I'm looking for is in behavior. It doesn't explicitly ask for this. It's just going to help me when I go to graph it. So the in behavior of this, I have an odd degree and a positive leading coefficient, which means it's going to be coming down on the left, up on the right. So that's my in behavior. And then the number of solutions is the exponent, n, which means the number of solutions I should have are 3. Now, not all of those will be on my graph. Some may be imaginary, but I'll have 3 final solutions. Or something that's multiplicity adds up to 3. So take a moment, pause the video, get this thing typed into your calculator, and then let's pick up once it's typed in. Alright, so now you've got it typed in. You'll see a picture of it on my screen over there. When I typed this thing into my calculator, I only saw one real solution, which was at x equals 2. So there's my first solution. That means my factor is going to be x minus 2, because if I want to get this thing equal to 0, I had minus 2 from both sides, which would give me x minus 2 equals 0. So that's where my factor comes from. I'm now going to take that factor, and I'm going to have to do synthetic division. So I know that there's a 0 of 2, which means that's what's going to go in my box. And then synthetic division is my coefficients. So I'm going to finish this out. So once I complete the synthetic division, I get x squared minus 4x plus 20. Now the first thing I'm going to try is I always want to try to factor. Well, if I'm thinking about my factors of 20, I have 2 and 10, which don't get me to 4, and then I have 5 and 4, which don't get me to 4. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to do the quadratic formula on this. So once I did the quadratic formula, I got out 4 plus or minus 8i all over 2. So I do want to simplify, so I'm going to have 4 over 2 plus 8 over 2i and 4 over 2 minus 8 over 2i. Both of those fractions will reduce. The first one will give me 2 plus 4i, and the second one will give me 2 minus 4i. So those are my 0, 2, and 3. So I'm going to take those. I now have a 0 of x equals 2 plus 4i, x equals 2 minus 4i. Now the conjugate zero theorem says if you get one, you'll get the other. So the factors are going to be x minus 2 minus 4i and x minus 2 plus 4i. So it asked me for factored form. So I'm going to take all of that and put it into one big giant polynomial. So there is your final answer with factored form. X minus 2 plus 4i, and x minus 2 minus 4i. The order of these things do not matter. So as long as that you have the right numbers with the right signs, you're good. So there is your final answer.